Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine's Crafts. I hope you are well. Well, welcome to my 12th or 1 year anniversary of my monthly colour challenge. And here are my colours this month. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? We've got a green, we've got a mustard, or as my paper cardstock calls it, buttercup. I've got this gorgeous beige, a cream, but it's got pink hints to it. I've got a nice, and two sort of shades of coral. But here's my inspiration. Isn't that gorgeous? Most importantly, here is the card I've made. I've made it using my Lisa Horton embossing folder. It's the rose corner and the corresponding stencils. And I'm going to show you how I put this together. But most importantly, this is all about you joining in. So please have a look at my Facebook post. There'll be a Facebook post linked to this video, and on there you just share with me your makes using this colour inspiration, and at the end of the month I will pick a winner and send a little gift and a card. So I hope you are able to join me. Please do. It's lovely that we've got to 12 months of these monthly colour challenges, and I can't wait to see what you make. But now I want to show you how I made this gorgeous card. Let's have a look again at the colour palette we're going to use today. So this was my inspiration. Look at this. Look at this gorgeous lily here, and it's created this colour palette because you can see how all these colours have been lifted from that gorgeous flower. We've got the green, we've got the mustard, we've got the beige cream, and then two shades of coral. Now I'm going to be using some card from Lime Tree Crafts. I'm going to use coral and buttercup because I think that they match. That one matches there really well, doesn't it? And this one is a pretty good match for the bottom one. So I'm going to be using coral for those two colours, coral and buttercup for those two papers. But I'm also going to match the colours using inks. So let me show you. I'm going to be using Spring Buds for my green, quite a good match. The thing with my colour challenge, it doesn't have to be an exact match, it's an approximation. Sunrise Glow for that mustardy colour. Sandstorm for my beige. Then I'm going to be using a blush for my the first pink. Now these are dye based inks, so these are quite hard to blend with, but we're going to make it work. And they call this one Brick, but it comes out quite well as a match for that darker coral. So that's how I'm going to be matching those colours, using some inks and some cardstock. Now I'm going to do something that I've not done before, so we're going to see how it turns out. I'm going to move this to the side so it's off camera, otherwise it catches. I'm going to be using one of Lisa Horton's embossing folders. Let me get the packaging so that you can see. It's this one here. It is Rose Corner. I got it. She had a sale. She does a weekly sale every pick of the week or something, I think it's called. And this embossing folder and the stencils were in the sale, so I got them. I think I got the whole set for less than £10. I'm sure that's how much it was. So yeah, so really good value. So you get a lot of stencils with this one. You get in total, you get all of these, they're numbered, so it goes up to number 8. So it's it says layering stencils. So yeah, I'm going to show you how those work. So the first thing I'm going to do, so this is a 6-inch embossing folder, but I've actually cut my card to 5.5 inches. I didn't need the full length. So I'm going to open this out and I'm going to take the size. So this goes that way round because it's corner. So this bit's raised and this bit's debossed. So the raised bit goes into there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bit where it's sunken. I'm going to get my sandstorm and I'm just going to colour all over with the sandstorm. Put my finger in the debossed bit where it doesn't matter. So you might just need to take it a little bit to get it all over, but it's just to well, this isn't letterpressing as such because we're not getting it on the raised bit, we're doing it on the debossed bit. But yeah, I suppose it is a form of letterpress, but it's just to create that background. So there you go, you can see that's on there. Now I always do it this way round. When I've coloured, I always put my cardstock onto the bit that's not got any ink because it gives me a chance to move it round. Hold it down, then bring this down, but don't move it once it's touched, otherwise it'll smudge. And straight away you can see, look, this bit's clear, can't you? And this bit's done. Now it's taken me a little bit of a practice, but I found that on my Gemini it's my cutting plate, and I thought it was a 2D embossing folder, so I did it with the 2 cutting plates, didn't work. I did it with a cutting plate and a plastic shim, didn't work. So I've tried again, and it was cutting plate, magnetic shim and plastic shim. You have to learn your embossing machine, and once you've learned your embossing machine, you're away. So if I lift this up now, where's the hinge? There we go. I just want to do that, lift that up, and you can see, don't worry if it's not absolutely 100% perfect, but that's given me some lovely colour on the background. And look at this, look at all this texture. It's like sculpting, isn't it? Absolutely. If you wanted to, you could add a bit in there. I didn't spend long enough on it, but the one I've got is finished is much better. So now we're going to go in with the stencils and do some of the stenciling. Now, as I mentioned, they're numbered. I don't know if you can see, but they're numbered 1 to 8. The number is just there. So that's going to show me what numbers I do. And I'm going to be using my ink pads through here. Now, I will actually possibly bring in a little bit of honey pot and pine tree just to try and help me. Now, how I'm going to do this with Lisa's is I'm going to use her platform. So I've got her platform here, and I like this one. The one that she sells now doesn't have this built in. I think you have to buy it as a separate insert. I've also popped a tacky mat in there. I put the grid underneath, which I didn't actually need. So I'm going to get these. Oops, I can't pick them up. Let's put those there so that you can see. And I'm going to get this. So I'm going to line. I don't know. Do you know what? I start these things. I don't actually watch how Lisa does them. I just think, oh, I'll do it my way. So I'm going to line up the first one. There you go. That's lined that up. Then I'm going to pop it onto the peg, and then I'm going to press my cardstock down onto the tacky mat, and that's going to keep it there for all of them. So let's start with the first colour, shall we? So the first colour I'm going to do is the green. Now I'm just going to get my mat to the side, and I'm just going to use that to help me do my blending. Now I did find that they all blend a lot better with a dauber, so that's what I'm going to be using. So first of all, nice little bit of dauber. And then just these are little mini daubers. I picked them up one place on a craft show, which I really like. I haven't actually mentioned colour challenge. So yes, colour challenge. What is it about? So the colour challenge is just about me coming up with a colour palette. I create a project, and we'll see. Maybe I can try and get another one in the month. This is the 12th one. Can you believe 12? I am so impressed by all of the projects that people make. And then you try to create your own project using the same colour palette. And it can be using inks, paper, waxes, pastes, fabric. It's entirely up to you. Right, so that's number one done. I'm going to come in with number two. Because it's on this sticky mat, it'll stay where it needs to be. So check, I've got number two. Yeah, I'm going to put that over there. Now this one is a foliage one again. And because it's in the right place, I don't need to worry about it. And that's why I've just brought in my pine tree, just to have a slightly darker one. Bit of artistic license. I know it's slightly different to the colours on the colour challenge, but I could have actually just done all the leaves in the same colour, but I thought not. So that's number two. I tend to do this and then clean all my stencils at the end. Look at that. Gorgeous, isn't it? Number three. I'm going to go in with this. I'm going to come in with, oh, it's a bigger dauber. I'm going to come in with my sandstorm. Let's go with the sandstorm for this. I'm just going to pop that over the top. So it's just like little twigs. Love these. So yeah, so I was saying, so yeah, you will take the colour challenge, and you'll take it and you'll make your own project, and then you'll share it to my Facebook page. And then from there, I will pick a winner at the end of the month. It's all really good fun. It's a very friendly group. So yeah, please consider doing that. It'll be lovely to see your projects. Okay, so where are we up to? I've got some flowers, so I'm going to come in with Sunrise Glow. Let's pick that up. I know it's a duet ink pad, but it'll still work equally as well over there. And because everything's held down, it should be just putting them in the right place. So there we go. Look at that. Now I found that's number four. Number four and number five are very similar. Number five is just got a little bit more detail on. There we go. So I'm going to go in, that's when I'm going to bring the honey pot in. I'll use the same dauber and just see if it can add a little bit more, and then pick up these extra bits. There we go. It's lovely, isn't it? Just building it up. It's a lovely way to craft. I've never really done layering stencils before, but I saw these and they were on offer. So yes, I keep getting sidetracked. So yeah, so you need to just create your own project and it would be lovely to see. Isn't this pretty already? Look at that. So pretty. Now this one was starting to get a bit bigger now. Let's take some of these out of the way. I'm going to come in with the paler of my pink, go all over these flowers. One we're on number 6. Oh, whizzing through these. It's a really quick way to craft, isn't it? Using these layering stencils. So that's going to add the colour on the background. So that's my sort of, if you remember, that's a really good sort of match. Look at that. Isn't that a good match for there? And then this one is a really, oh, change the stencil, Corrine. Nearly got carried away and forgot to change the stencil there. Put this one on. This one's going to add the detail. There we go, number 7. Oh, and it's got some extra little bits like centres. But the one thing I did do when I did that is I did then just sort of blend it a little bit with a paler one, just so it didn't get too strong a colour. The ink that's on your stencil will then just blend in. So when I lift that now, look at that. Look at how that's lifted that up. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? All my stencils are up there and I can clean them up in a minute. And then I've got a final one, which is this one, which is just here. Now what I did with mine was, it's expecting you to go brown, but what I thought I'd do is I'd just use a little bit of the brick. So I've got a little bit, I'm just going to put that on there first. I'm not going to push it through too much. Then I'm just going to take this green, my original green, which is up here, and I'm going to blend it so it'll actually come through as brown, but it'll be made up of all the colours. It's a brown made from the colours that you've got, so it should have the right tone. And there you go. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Really pretty. I really am loving that. So I'll just move all those stencils out of the way for a minute. And my ink pads. We do need some of the ink pads again in a minute, but not for a bit. So all I want to do next is I'm going to rough up the edges. Now I have got a tool for roughing up the edges. Can I find it today? No. And you know what? When I'm clearing up later, you know what will appear. So all I'm going to do is get the blade of a scissor. You just got to be careful. And I'm just going to rough the edge. You don't have to do this. Oh, I've got something on my finger. Let me get rid of that ink off my finger before it transfers. You don't have to do this, but I just thought it gave it a nice soft look. And don't worry when it catches like that, because that's all going to help with that rough, natural look. And I quite like, because I've only gone down to 5.5 inches. I've gone quite close to the edge, which for me really works. Just keep roughing around those edges. If you get snags and rips, that really works well. There we go. It does make a mess though. Look at the mess down there, but not to worry. We can't craft without making a mess, can we? So yeah, being number 12, I hope everybody would love to have a go. And at the end of the month, I will pick a winner. So yeah, it'll be really good to see what you could do. Okay. So the next thing I want to, I've got all this space. I've got too much space. So I'm going to do something about that. So I had a problem that my brick is a pigment ink, so I can't blend it. So I'm going to go back to my green. Now I'm going to have to use this green, Pine Tree, because it's a water-based one. And then I'm going to use, see if I can get it out the Duet, see if that will work. There we go, put those on there. Then I've got a paintbrush. Let's get my paintbrush, and I'm going to pick up a bit of the yellow. Oh, that's blending nicely, isn't it? I tend to use my pokey tool, and then you notice, sorry, I didn't even mention, I've just put it into a clear box. I use this all the time. It's my sophisticated, paint station. I've forgotten something. Lisa's stencils and embossing folders come with a die, so that you can actually cut this piece out. But what I've done is I've cut it out of a scrap. It's just thin cut paper. And what I'm going to do is I need my dotty tape pen, which is here. I nearly forgot this. And I'm just going to put 2 little dots on here. And then I'm just going to cover that up. So I'm creating a mask. There we go, that's better. Right, now I can carry on. Let's dot onto here. Dot away as much or as little as you want. I just want a little bit more colour. Want it a bit stronger. And can you see how much has gone onto here? That if I hadn't have had that there, it would have been all over the image, which I didn't want. So let's do it with the green. Maybe diluted that down a bit too much, but never mind. We can always add a bit more. Come on. Okay, so I've got some green and I've got some of the rusty colour, but I wanted some of the red. And I said that's a pigment ink, so I thought, have a look at what else I've got. And I've got my Sparkle Shimmer watercolours. And this blush here is a really good one to use. So let's just get some water on there and really mix it up. And look at that colour there. If I can balance that on here. And then find my image. Look at that. Look how close that colour is. Isn't that good? Just shows how you can use lots of different mediums. I'm just working the paint. Don't worry, if you put too much water on, just mix it. It'll just dry back up and dry back in and re-solidify. Is that the right word? I think it is. So I've got that there. And then I can then just do some taps onto there. And that's giving me the gorgeous coral colour as well. And the final bit I wanted to do was, and you saw me do it on a recent one, let's put that away so I don't lose it, is I'm going to get a little bit of white acrylic paint, because even though white doesn't appear in our colour challenge, we always use white, don't we? White's almost like a given. So all I've done, a little bit of acrylic paint on there, water spray, little bit of water, really is the tiniest bit of water, because I can't splat that paint, it's just too thick. Just dot it down. What I need to do is put some in a tub with a lid, an airtight lid, and then I can keep using it. And this will come quite chunky splats. There we go, just like that. You just keep working it as much or as little as you want. Just get rid of that paint. There we go. Okay, so we have this now. Whizzing through this. I thought this was going to take a lot longer. So if I now take that off, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So you've got those colours and they merge. They seem to merge out onto the edge. I really like that. I like the rough edge as well. Now you just need to leave that to dry. And if I show you this one, it is exactly the same. There is no difference, apart from the way the splats have come on, of course. But that is the only thing that is different. Let's move those out of the way. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, the next thing I've done is I've taken a piece of vellum. Don't forget, when you're if you're stamping onto vellum, to rub it over with your anti-static bag first. And then I've heat embossed, sorry. All I've used is, I've used my wedding dress. It's a mixed media one. So it's a pigment ink. It goes on fabrics and all sorts. But I just like the white. And then I've heat embossed with white embossing powder. I've just folded it in half. I didn't even use my scoreboard and did that. And then what I did was I popped it onto here. And then I cut it at the right angle that worked for that. So it just butts onto there. You can turn that over. Let's get a piece of tape, and all we need to do now, one of the most asked questions is, how can I stick vellum to my project? And we always say, whoever you ask, it's always about put it where it's not going to, the adhesive where it's not going to be seen. And this certainly isn't going to be seen on the back. So that would be my top tip to you, is just put it where it can't be seen. That's a silly little piece. I don't know why I cut that. And then I'm just going to cut this bit off. There we go. And that's going like that. And that's, actually what I'll do while I'm still here, I'm going behind that with my dotty tape pen. So it's behind the writing. And then, there we go, that's down there. And look, you can't see it because it's behind the heat emboss. Perfect. Tape. I definitely want some foam tape on here. big roll again. You know me and my big roll of foam tape. So what I'm going to do is, I didn't actually need that red liner, did I? Because my foam tape would have held it down, but I didn't think that through. Let's do that. 1, 2, 1 in the middle, 1 on that side. I need one more piece. I love these colours. Today, when I'm recording this, it is such a gorgeous spring-like day that I just thought, you know, I only picked the colours this morning, or lunchtime actually, so you know, it was just lovely to do it. Right, so I've got my foam tape going vertically, and on my next layer I need to put it horizontally. I've talked about this so that they go in opposite directions, because if they'd have gone in the same, look at that, the tape would have started to dip between the when I put it like that, they would have gone between the layers. So I have got a card base, and I've used that gorgeous buttercup on there. Then I'm going to go do some white and that coral. So this one, I'm going to run the tape horizontally. And we're just using about 1/8 of an inch increments on each one. Doesn't the backing come off these so easily? And as always, you always see me, always put in the glue on, because it just means I've got that wiggle room. And it just means I can move my mats and layers around. This is why I've sort of progressed onto using a wet adhesive for making my mats and layers. So remember, I want this to go horizontally, just like that. You see, can you see it moves still until you get it just where you want it, and then press. Look at that white splats all paint. And then on here, as I said a few minutes ago, I can't believe we've got to 12 projects already. I am so, you know, of the monthly colour challenge. It was lots of you lovely viewers, subscribers that convinced me to do this channel when I stopped working on the TV last year. You're all saying we want to still see your craft, Corrine. I was chuffed a bit, so I started up the channel. I can't believe I've got over 5,200 plus. Last time I looked, 5,200, it could be more now. Subscribers, I am so grateful. Thank you to each and every one of you. And this is my little way of bringing it back to everybody and just saying, please join in, and thank you for all of your support over the last year. And I can't believe it's a year already. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. I'm just going to bring the colours in. Look at that. It's absolutely perfect match, isn't it? I put this together so quickly today. Okay, last little bit. You know me. Wouldn't be a Corrine card if I didn't put a few gems on. So I have a couple of different options. This one is pre-bought. I quite like these colours. Or these ones I've just coloured with my coral blend and my gold brown extender. So that's the coral ones there. And those are the gold brown ones. I like the coral. I think it's even better than that. So I'm going to go with the coral. Just so if anybody wonders, I get the pen and I just... Right, first one was too light. Use the second one. There we go. Just colour over them like that. Give them a minute for that alcohol to ink to dry, and then they're good to go. So let's just put a couple of these on just here. 1, 2, 3, and then we can put a few random ones all over the project like that. Now I think I need a couple of green ones. I've got some green ones that I coloured from a previous project, so I'm going to use those as well. Now, do I do 2 3s or a 3 and a 2 to make the 5? Because you know me, I normally do them 1s, 3s and 5. I'm going to do that. And that is all I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it there. Isn't that pretty? Little bit of layering stencils, but all the time trying to stay true to my colour inspiration. And that is my colour inspiration for today. Look at those colours and look at how they're just, that's sort of my guide, and this is how I've interpreted it. You interpret it how you like, and please don't forget to show me your crafty makes in this colour. If you're a sewer, I'd love to see some fabric ones. If you know, whatever you want to make, then please do have a go. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I'm going to lift that up so you can see all the bits. As always, I will put a link here to the playlist for all my previous monthly colour challenges so that you can see the sorts of things I've done. Every month when I've done a colour challenge, this one's the 12th one, I've done a different style of project just to show you that colour can be however you want it to be. And of course, on this side, if you're new, I will put a link to my subscribe. But please do consider joining in with this, the 12th, bit special, being the 1 year anniversary of my monthly colour challenge. So until next time, my crafty friends, you take care. I hope you have a lovely time crafting whatever you're making and wherever you're making it. And I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.